Hey guys, in this video, I want to give you 4 tools and products that I wish I would have known about earlier in my detailing career that would dramatically have helped me detailing in direct sun and in the summertime. The first thing I want to start with are the waffle weave towels, specifically from the Rag Company. I buy the Dry Me a River waffle weave towels. I believe they come in like 16 by 16 inch or 16 by 24 inch. Now, this sounds super simple. Some of you might already be using waffle weave towels. I want to highlight the areas here where I think it's most important. If you are detailing in the heat and you are detailing glass, you're trying to pull fingerprints off the interior, you're trying to finish the exterior streak free, there is no point in using any other towel but this towel. The reason being is the design of a waffle weave is perfect for the design of a towel. You get the perfect absorption, you get the perfect spread of a product. Here's the deal. There are other ways to do it in the sun. You could take a new microfiber towel, you could dampen it with water and keep a dry side. You could use a separate microfiber towel to spread product. All of that stuff works, but here's what I mean when I say products and tools I wish I would have known about earlier. I want to know about the products and tools, but I also want to know the way to use them. When you're detailing in the heat, if you're a mobile guy, you know, just like I'm doing here with this BMW, I am not trying to waste time. I'm trying to get done, get in, and get out before I'm sweating, beyond what I can continue detailing. And so I just want the tool and the strategy that will get me the exact result in the shortest amount of time, and I know it's going to work. So that's the first part of this. The waffle weave towel, the Dry Me a River from the Rag Company, using it dampened on one side, spreading product with the damp side, a completely dry side on the other side, using a separate one for the interior and exterior. Again, might sound like overkill, but this is just what I know will get results immediately, and so it's what I default to. The second thing I want to highlight here is a product, and this is a product called Citrol Orange Degreaser. You guys might already be familiar with it. I want to specify the way I suggest buying it for the application I'm talking about. When you are detailing in the sun, part of the problem with trying to pull off tar after a wash, as we all know, after you're doing a pre-wash or an agitation wash, you're going to inevitably have on a daily driver leftover tar on certain lower rocker panels, maybe bugs that didn't quite come off. Let's just call it miscellaneous, really stuck on dirt that's hard to deal with. Well, in the sun, everything becomes harder to deal with in some ways. So one of the easy ways to pull this stuff off is just by using a clay bar and kind of going around the paint. What's the problem with using a clay bar or a clay mitt in direct sun? Well, you got to use a ton of lubricant. It gets messy. It's really easy to dry out. The clay bar itself can kind of rub off on the paint because the lubricant dries so fast. You create more problems for yourself. Like, all of this stuff just creates issues, right? In addition to that, products that are not all that strong but relatively like alkaline can be sprayed on the paint, but they dry so fast that they can actually chemically burn paint, and it gets kind of damaged, especially with darker colored oxidized paint. So the Citrol Degreaser, specifically in an aerosol can, is one of those extremely fast-working, really powerful degreasers that kind of has one purpose in my detailing world, and it's what I'm describing. And so I don't buy a ton of this product because I don't use a ton of it. But if I'm in direct sun, I've got tar on the lower rocker panels, I'm going to spray it on there, leave it for 10 to 15 seconds. It's not going to dry because the substance isn't like, it is, I think, actually water-based, but it isn't like, it's kind of viscous like honey, right? So it's not like spraying super clean degreaser where it's just going to flash dry, or alcohol that's going to flash dry. It's got that viscous honey type syrupy feel, and so it doesn't flash dry, but it works super, super, super fast, so it doesn't have to stay on the paint, and therefore I'm not giving it a chance to dry, and it works the first time every single time. So I'm going to use that post-wash, spray it, let it work, spray it off, and come in with some sort of like optimum no rinse and just get off the residue. The third product here that I want to highlight here is Formula 4 Spray Wax from Superior Products. This is what I would call like the ultimate rinsing aid. You can see products like this from other companies as well, but they're just kind of impossible to get because these companies generally sell to automatic car washes or big dealerships. They don't sell direct to detailers. So there's another company called Automagic. They have a product called Easy Beads. Essentially, it's the same thing. Formula 4 Spray Wax can be diluted. Let's call it 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1, right? You can dilute it in a lot of different applications here to see what works best for you, but you can use it on the paint as you're rinsing off that soapy solution. It'll extend your washing time because it causes the water to bead up and roll off the paint. If you are detailing in direct sun and you are not using deionized water and you don't have this product, I'm just telling you, you're insane. Okay, you should be locked up because of how insane that is. And I'm kidding. But seriously, use this product. There's just no reason not to have this in your arsenal. It is so fantastic. It'll extend your washing time. It'll decrease the probability of water spots by like at least 60 to 70% with you pulling the water off. You can use it before your final rinse as well. I will often top after I do an agitation wash and the soapy solution is still on the paint before I've rinsed it, I will spray the product on top of the soapy solution. Kind of combines two things in one. It also keeps that soapy solution from drying on the paint. Starts to beat it up immediately. The water mixed with the soap starts to beat up and roll off the paint. Very, very efficient way to wash in the sun. And the final product that I want to highlight here is a product that I'm using here that's actually relatively hard to get, so I'm going to give you guys some other options on how to get your hands on something like this. I'm using a purple can here in this video to dress all of the exterior black plastic trim and the areas that are just a bit faded or they just kind of don't look good. They kind of got burned by the sun. I'm using a product called Ultra Shine Detail Spray. I cannot remember what company it's from, but a comparable product to this might be Stoner More Shine Tire Shine, or even more comparable would be something like P&S No Rub Aerosol Can Coating. The reason why I suggest a product like this is because, like I said, I don't use a ton of it, and in other situations I might use a different product. But if I'm detailing like a nicer BMW like this, where I want that trim to shine after the detail, but I'm in the direct sun, it can be very monotonous and very annoying to try to take Cerakote or something like that by hand to all of the black trim, and it adds a bunch of time to my detail. Secondly, that black trim can be boiling hot, as you know, and so I want something that'll spray even on there, and I can just let it dry, and it dries very quickly in the sun, and it dries very shiny in the sun. That is the product I'm talking about, Ultra Shine Detail Spray, or No Rub Coating from P&S. I don't have to have a lot of this in my arsenal, but I use it in very specific situations like this. Another option would be to dilute a product like Chemical Guys VRP or Superior Products Aqua Gloss or Meguiar's Hyper Dressing, right? Their Hyper Dressing could be diluted 5-to-1, 10-to-1 to dress these areas. The problem with it is sometimes when you spray that product onto really, really hot black trim, it can dry. Those water-based glosses tend to dry a little streaky, and so that's why I don't like to do it. The aerosol can keeps that from happening completely. Once again, these are not necessarily products that are cheap. They're not necessarily products I need a lot of. They're specific products I need in specific situations to make sure I'm not wasting time. And again, because I don't use them all over, I can use them in specific situations like this with no guilt. Now, if this was helpful and you guys want a much more robust list of what I use for every part of detailing, how I use it, how I dilute it, and get all that information in one area, I've got something called the Pro Detailing Toolbox. It's a totally free resource. You can check it out in the YouTube description box below. And if you want to see any of the products or tools I mentioned in this video, they will be listed below in the YouTube description box as well. Guys, thank you so much. And as always, remember, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, a great detailer is always learning, and I will see you guys in the next video.